Hello, welcome to Real Magic Review. My name is Steve Faulkner, and time to do some waffling. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say some things. Don't know what I'm going to say yet. Hello, at least there's some people here. Mr. C Magic. I said. Well, hang on. Let's do the preliminaries. Like and subscribe if you like it. Not someone got very upset. I said the other day because I said like and subscribe before they even knew they wanted to like and subscribe. You don't have to. You can just do it if you want, and nice thing to do in it. And then you can't really unlike it, can you? I suppose. Can you? Don't know. I suppose you can dislike it, but nobody likes that, do they? Don't want to be doing that. Don't get many of them, which is a good sign. I said I was going to waffle, and that's what I'm going to do. Because I've been on Zoom a lot today. I've done lots of that, which is always good. It's very, very bitty, my life at the moment. Lots of little tasks, which is fine. Exciting things are happening. I'm very happy about it. But focus is a struggle. So talk to me, because I'm lonely. I'm terribly lonely. Right. So we're going to talk about Sizzle a little bit. We haven't got loads. I only did one review this week because of all the stuff that's going on. I've got a load of good stuff to review, though, so I'm excited about that. And I think I've got some stuff coming from Murphy's, which means I'm excited about that. So all is good. Right. Let's do I'm going to come to this you in a minute and talk to you. I'll do a couple of comments, just the stuff from the Sizzle John Bannon. Mexi Mex, with the anniversary of his death coming up, how about a list and possibly a demo of your favourite Roy Walton tricks? I'm a huge fan of Pass at Red myself. I'm going to be totally honest. What happens with me is that moves stick, routines go. Which means if I learn a trick, unless I perform it becomes part of my set, I forget the routines and the move sticks. So I've learned loads of Roy Walton routines and then kind of forgotten which one's which. Obviously the Smiling Mule, things like that, the classic ones. And there's the Oil and Water and all that. But I think I really want to go back and really spend some time. And this is the frustration at the moment, which is such a lovely thing that's going to happen soon, because I'm going to be able to focus, because things are very much changing in my life, and my focus is going to be cardmagiccourse.com. I didn't mention that, which is going to change its name soon, but the links will still work. Go and have a look at that, my online card magic course. But that's going to be a very different thing, not just card magic. Loads of changes happening there, which means I'm going to go back and I'm going to have time to really delve into stuff as I was doing a few years ago when I relaunched it, and spend more time on this as well. So really exciting things happening, and so it's a great suggestion, Meximex. I'm going to try and do that, but I can't promise anything, and maybe it's something I look at and do something with. But yeah, it's because at the moment I'm a one-man band doing this, and it's a tough one, but great idea, and I might well do it. So about Sizzle, Tom Rolfe, this is a very nice routine. I've performed Paul Gordon's Killer, OMG. Paul Gordon's got some great packet tricks, hasn't he? He's kind of known for it. And I haven't got any of his books. They're so dense, aren't they? And that's not a bad thing. There's so much in them. And it's one of those things that if I've got one of them, I've got to get them all. And then I won't know where to start. But I've heard great things about that and a lot of his tricks, which is a nice packet trick with a kicker ending. Having something like this as part of your performance is a real asset. Keep going for it, Steve. You're so close to having the routine nailed. Yeah, I am. And I felt iffy about showing the routine that I did, because obviously the counts, I haven't got the counts completely nailed, and they felt a bit rushed, and I got a bit of feedback on that, which I mentioned in the thing, which is absolutely right. But I do think we have to, and this is I've got no illusions. There's no non-magicians looking at this channel. I don't want to expose things, but I think what I really think we should be is less worried about showing other magicians stuff that isn't there, because we've got to show work in progress, and we've got to get over that thing. And when I first started this, I thought, should I ever show anything that isn't perfect? But you just don't do it. And like I said, I showed non-magicians, and they didn't pick up on the fact that the full counts were a bit rushed. Which really got me thinking. So I do Elmsley counts all the time, which this Bullet Party count is a version of, and I always don't, and I generally don't know the answer. Is whether it's best to do like a really smooth count, like uniform, smooth, beautiful, or whether it's best to do one that's sort of staggered and a bit more throwaway to make it look like a more of a genuine thing. I genuinely don't know the answer. So if you let me just So if you were to do, God blimey, let me just set this up. I'll do it without the actual count, right? So if you were to do 1, 2, yeah. If you were to do an Elmsley count like this, okay, very uniform, you know, very, everything's the same, you would argue that that looks, and I'm not saying it's perfect Elmsley count before anybody, you know, that looks better than something like that with a stop and a couple more. I tend to think that doing something like this and stopping, chatting, and then doing something like that looks a bit more nonchalant. It looks a bit more like as you would as a human being show some cards. But it's part of me when I see a beautiful routine that's more uniform, and I'm not saying it's a beautiful count. It's very flawed, like a lot of stuff that I do. Like a lot of stuff that we all do, let's face it. But, you know, it's more uniform, and I don't know the answer. I think I prefer watching the latter, but which one is more convincing? I tend to think something a little bit more throwaway and something like that. And a lot of people do Elmsley counts like this, which I to me is a bit, I don't know, I always feel like you could just be doing that. It doesn't look but maybe you think that's the best one. I don't know. But it just got me thinking, because I know you watch Liam Montier do it, and of course John Bannon, and it's beautifully smooth and slow, and I haven't really got that. And the answer depends on the performer. I totally agree. Mr. No Name, if that is your real name. So great, Tom. Thank you very much. This is an interesting one. Our dearest, I'm going to with the right glasses. This has been a vexing trick for me. I've been performing Alex Elmsley's Dazzle and people loved it. I like this. This is a really good post. Then I got Sizzle, and too many spectators were saying that they didn't get it. I could tell that when I. By the way, I don't think I mentioned that, which was bad of me. That I don't think I mentioned that Sizzle is a version of Alex Elmsley's Dazzle. Yes, I might have, but afterwards I thought, oh my gosh, did I not mention it? Then I got Sizzle, and too many spectators were saying they didn't get it. I could tell that when I switched their attention from the card faces to the coloured backs, I lost their attention. The cognitive jump was too great, and no matter how I reworded the patter, I continued getting blank stares. I switched back to Dazzle, and boom, no problem since. Pulling the new colour from the pocket seems to provide a context for the colour change that I cannot achieve with Sizzle. I don't think the problem is in Sizzle, but in me. That's a great example of knowing how a trick is done is not the same as knowing how to perform it. And I think that's a really valid point. And I've done tricks and lines, and you know, when I was a street performer, I would do, someone would give me blessing to do a line of theirs, and I just couldn't get the laugh, or a you know, a kind of more of a traditional street line that everybody's doing. I couldn't get the laugh where other people would be getting the laugh. It's a very weird thing, isn't it? And I think that there's stuff that I just haven't been able to pull off, and I don't know why, and tricks that I haven't been able to get response to, and I don't know why. It could be that. It could be that your heart's not in it, you don't like it as much, therefore you're telegraphing that. It could be that maybe it isn't. I mean, I haven't performed Dazzle, and I haven't seen it, I'm going to be totally honest, which is, I know, bad of me. I should have checked it out. But I think that it's a really good point, and I go with what works for you. You know, if you're not getting the responses for it, I do know what you mean. When I first saw that trick, I kind of found it a little bit confusing, but then when I showed it to people, they really liked it. I think the key is super slow, maybe talk through it a bit more, but you've inspired me to look at Dazzle, and apparently it's a lot more difficult and things like that, but if you're getting the responses, stay with that. It's like I still haven't found a packet trick that gets me as strong a response as Roger Smith's Maxi Twist, which is like a version of twisting the aces. Therefore it's still in there, and I've been doing it for years. So it's, you know, nothing's going to replace that as yet. I'll keep working on this because just I like working on it. Whether it's going to replace it, it's like a royal scam. I loved that trick. The first time I saw it, it was beautiful, but it didn't stay in my set because it still wasn't getting the responses of Maxi Twist. Maybe that's because I've been performing Maxi Twist so long that I've got that timing down. This is a longer trick. There's more going on. So I think it's a really arduous. Is that how you say it? That's a really valid point. Thank you. Benny Weber, yeah, is there anything John does that isn't awesome? Always enjoy your reviews. Thank you very much. Robert Ball, check out Robert Ball's channel. It's a lovely channel. Great review. Love the John Bannon stuff. I plan on doing one soon from his Destination Zero. That's a good book, isn't it? Sort of self-workers or I'd say, you know, slightless stuff. He's great at all that stuff. Went over very well for the family 2 years ago, so why not? do a performance for my channel. I think you should, Robert Ball. That'd be great. So there you go. Let's look at what we've got here. Lots of people saying hello. How you doing, Sandy, Mr. C, Gary H. Lambert. Thanks for coming back in, for your loyalty, everyone. Everybody's so lovely. Michael F. Good evening, sir. Spencer. I haven't read these yet, so that was not. I've always felt a big tension with magic in terms of wanting to be honest and authentic while also doing an art form that is deceiving in nature. I know exactly what you mean. I've been doing magic for over 4 years. Spencer, I think that is actually the skill of magic. That's the hardest thing. Yes, the sleights are difficult and that, but I genuinely think that it's getting over that. It's that thing of, when you do a coin vanish, or just say a pen vanish, right? It's we kind of do a pen thing. That's an easy vanish, right? I'm not saying you can do it straight away, but there's nothing that difficult happening there. So what's the difficult thing about it? And I think that a coin vanish is something like that. The difficult thing is to do it guilt-free, and I think once the guilt goes, it almost becomes easier. And because we're brought up not to lie and deceive, and we want to do it authentically and honestly. The lovely thing about magic is people know that there's deception, and it's a easy way of lying. But when you get to pickpocketing and things like that, I find that really difficult. Watch stealing, I can do a watch steal usually. It's rubbish. I'm not very good at it because I just haven't practiced getting over that guilt. And I think that part of the practice is getting over the guilt. I really do. And that's just repetition and time and knowing and being able to switch off and having unconscious competence. But I would see that as part of the skill with any routine to overcome, and not get frustrated that you're not, because it is difficult. That's how what we do, and it's I think one of the hardest things about pulling this off. Stefan, hi Steve, Dale from work. So I'm finally able to watch this and not in my car driving home, and just in time for the live session. By the way, it's the Car Magic live session, and if you're watching this in the future, it's my online course live session, which is going to have a different name. At every Thursday at 6 o'clock UK time. Glad you're here, Stefan. Nice to see you, and enjoy your day off, mate. And back to Spencer. I even feel guilty about lying to some degree. I have a gimmick my key that is disguised as a house key, and I feel guilty saying it's my house key. You're just a really nice person, Spencer. Let's be honest. If the nicer person you are, the harder magic is, because you go, oh God, I'm lying. And I'm the same. I just cannot lie. And I'd like to say it's because I'm a lovely person, but I think it's because I'm so scared of being caught out. I mean, lying about other stuff, even white lies. I'm rubbish at keeping surprises, all that kind of thing. I try my best, but yeah, it's a hard one. But keep going with it, and understand that it's okay to lie when you do a magic trick. You have to lie because it's going to be a really boring magic trick if you. And I'm being flippant, but I just love the idea of talking for a trick and being utterly honest and telling them exactly what's going on, which is great. So really, really good point, Spencer, and I feel your pain. Let's just say that. Anders, hi from Sweden. Hello, mate. Tommy Wonder used to say you are displaying the cards rather than counting them. A constant rhythm is not important. I totally agree. A constant rhythm is not important. I think it's yeah, and I think that actually you're right. Of course, it's you're not counting them. You're doing a count. Maybe when you're doing a false count, you're doing this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is rubbish, but it's the first false count I ever learned, which on stage you can get away with, on here you can't. But it's actually, it works with money, and I've learned in that is it Willand's complete method for miracles thing. I never performed it because I can't do it very well. But again, that is a count, isn't it? Because you're doing a counting trick. But I think that's a really good thing about false counts, is having your mind thinking you're displaying cards, and then you can justify the doing it in a more beautiful way. Because I think, as I've talked about this rather a lot, I talk about everything rather a lot, don't I? But if you're going to display cards, people say, well, you've got to make it look natural. I don't necessarily agree. I think as a magician, totally depending on your style, and depending on the context of the trick that you're on stage, it's okay to display something in a theatrical way, because you're performing. If you're with friends, it may, doing something and you're trying to, portray the feeling of nonchalance, then I think that, yes, you kind of want to sort of be a little bit more, less uniform with it. It's always really interesting. There's so much, and Mr. C says there's so much on this. I think it's great looking into this. The count should be natural, as should everything else. They should absolutely be natural. I completely agree. Whatever way, even if they're in a theatrical way, there's a naturalness to them that doesn't make it look like you're doing anything. Your effort. It should look like you're displaying something in a beautiful way rather than hiding something. On the basis you need to lie to be a magician, is my ex-mistress should be one of those. Gary Edge Lambert, behave. Do you have any suggestion for magic watches? Well, I have both the Turner watch and the SB watch. I think they're both great. I haven't had any problems with any of them. Apparently, there's a little bit more support available on the Facebook groups and something for the SB watch. I know there's some issues. People said with the Turner watch they couldn't get support. Now, that might have changed, and that's not my opinion. I haven't looked into it. I haven't, this is just what I've heard from this channel, actually, when I've talked about them. So I think either of them you're going to be fine, and they kind of, I love my SB watch and I love my Turner watch. So Chris, Mr. C Magic says, I used to hate the lying side of magic, so I balance it out. I lie all the time during magic tricks, but I never lie outside of magic. Be warned, I ended up single and friendless. I thought you were going to say you balance it out by lying in magic tricks and lying about everything. That'd be a way to do it. Just practice lying constantly. Don't take that as I told you to do that. I have two friends. Yeah. So Joseph, no worries. Right, there you go. We've had a nice chat, haven't we? I feel like I've spoken to humans. It's lovely. Thanks. And we're back next week. When's the Orphic review coming? Oh, I don't know. I haven't got it, have I? I wonder if I'm getting sent it. Let me Google it. This is going to be fun to watch me Google stuff. There you go. Watch your man. Oh, I don't know. It's not coming up, is it? I don't know. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I should get that. January 17th. Yeah, well, hopefully I'll get one of them. That'd be good. I think I will, because they're good to me, 1914. And it'll be great, because everything they make is great, isn't it? But I'll tell you some things about it. So, hopefully I'll get one. I'll ask them. And so it'll be when I get it and play with it. So, need a Zoom session. My friends have been a wall for 2 days and I need to talk. Yeah, well, there's one coming up tonight, Chris. We're gonna be rambling tonight in about 40 minutes. So, right, and I shall go away and prepare for that. Thanks, everybody. Come back next week. Remember to like, subscribe, but hit the notifications icon for when I can't do stuff. There might be the odd Thursday that I can't make. Well, there will be. So just so you know and you don't sort of turn up and I'm not here, please do tell your friends. Please share this if you think you have magicians friends that you will like it. And I'm going to be more and more answering questions. So if you've got any questions before next week's and you want to put them in the comments, you can do that as Mexi did with the Roy Walton stuff, and I will gladly answer that. So I'm off. Take care. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate your support. Never take it for granted. So much appreciated. Have a good one. Take care. Or go to cardmagiccourse.com. Go and have a look at it. Do that now. Now. Do it now. You know it's the right thing to do. Bye.